Hi again, guys. Today we're going to take a look at a Seagate 40 meg model ST157A. I took the liberty of taking this apart because I noticed some damage on the PCB, probably because of shipping damage. On this PCB, if you can see, there are two MOSFETs missing. There's supposed to be a crystal here, and this fusible link got broken. Now I've already taken off the MOSFETs and this crystal. This I left on here because even though it seems broken, it seems functional. We'll see. All of the other ICs on this board show scratches, and this thing was hit pretty hard. A couple bent pins down here on this connector, but it has both the jumpers and the drive top itself, other than a few scratches, doesn't seem to be dented or anything. The chances of this drive working are pretty slim, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. Might as well show you guys some of the carnage. This, if you can see it, is one of the MOSFETs. It has completely come apart. Pins coming off and things. I've already ordered and have gotten replacements for those. I have to find a crystal. The number on here says, if I can read it, looks like SMI200Z15. With the searching I've done, I think that is a 20 megahertz crystal. I'll see if I have one around here. Here are the MOSFETs I got. They are a number match for the one that's still left on here and for what I could get off of the broken ones over here. As for a 20 megahertz crystal, there's one on this modem, and I don't plan on using this modem for anything, so we're going to buzz that off of there and put that on this PCB, see if we can get him working. But first, let's do the MOSFETs. Make sure my soldering iron's warming up. We'll go ahead and put these into place. These MOSFETs are directional. There's one side that has, the two pins are joined outside of the package, where the other side they're separate. On this, they all face the same direction on this PCB. So we're going to put them in that way as well. There's one, it's holding snug even before we solder it. Just bending the pins a bit more straight. Put that one in there as well. All right, now let's get some solder and put these in. This solder I have is from, I don't know, from some soldering kit I got a long time ago. I'm just trying to use up resources and not just throw them away. This soldering iron is a pine sol. It's fairly inexpensive, but rather nice to use. I tend to stick with this wedge shape for most things. It can be tricky to get into tight spaces. But it seems to do best for kind of my ham-fisted way of soldering. Just double checking the PCB to make sure nothing's bridged and that they're all soldered in well. They seem to be. I'll let you guys have a look. Now with those in, set the soldering iron down. I'm going to take this crystal off of this card. There's the post right there. It's a Hacko desoldering gun. Seems to work rather well. Just to give us the best chance, put a touch of fresh solder on each one of these. Solder iron has a blob on it. That's better. With the fresh solder on those pins, put it on the pin, wait to feel it melt, and then give it a wait to feel it melt, and that everything's moving freely, and then give it a buzz. And if you got everything just right, that should just pop right out. He's still holding on though. Give him a little push. Using no force, just wiggle him out. Okay, set the, accidentally pushed the trigger, set the soldering gun over there, or the solder sucker over there. Put the modem down. Put the clock in just like so. He's pretty loose and wants to fall out. I wonder if I can do this with my one free hand, holding it and holding the solder. It's real tricky. But he's in there. I'll give that top pin another go. There we go. He appears to be in there. So it's got its crystal back. This fusible link is attached. And 2 new MOSFETs. Now, set the soldering iron aside. We'll reassemble this drive, at least well enough to give it some testing. It has 3 different pin headers. These are motor controls, and this for the data, I'm assuming. Put in the flat flex connection first, which with the drive apart like it is, we can fold it back like so and push it together. Then the little 6-pin connection. Then this little 12-pin connection. 12-pin connection is keyed. 6-pin connection is not, but it will only really go on there one way. This 12-pin connection is being cantankerous. There we go. He's connected. He was kind of hanging on the MOSFETs, the legs from the MOSFETs. Put him all the way on. Put him down like so. And we'll put a couple screws in here just to make sure he stays together. All of these screws are T8 Torx, but these are also slotted for flat blade screwdrivers. We'll put a screw on each side. Maybe. My hand isn't cooperating. There we go. Right, now we're going to flip him over. Let's plug power to him and see if anything explodes. Let's see. He spins, but I'm not hearing any drive seek sounds. Spun down pretty quick though. Nothing seemed to get particularly hot. Well, let's hook him up to something and see if he recognizes on a system. Alright, I have my little beaten stepchild test board here. Connect power to him. This is a little 486, handles PCI and ISA, has a 50 megahertz 486 SX2 processor. Move the camera a bit. I need a video card. That's a postcard. Pop him in there. This board doesn't have a controller. We will just use this XT IDE. I don't like the looks of that ISA slot. We'll use the one above it. We'll use this video card. ISA Super VGA. This was a project that I built a while back. We'll plug in the video. Then we'll connect this hard drive. Make sure that pin 1 is on pin 1 of the drive there. Then we will plug in the power. And we will turn on that power. Forgot one crucial detail. We'll need a keyboard. There we go. Let's try that again. He's booting. Let's go into setup. We don't need to go into setup. Forgot I was using the XT IDE. It does its own setup from a different system. We don't need to go into BIOS for that. We have a flashing LED on the front of the drive. Let's restart this computer, or restart this. I don't want to touch it while it's running. trying to detect the hard drive right now. The STIDE card is. I wanted to double check the jumper settings. The jumpers on this the jumpers on this drive appear to be set correctly. I could be wrong, but it didn't look very long. I'm going to check some voltages and things. I know they say that it's not good to run these drives inverted, but it's the only way I can get to it. I don't think it'll be that bad. It says here where you guys can get a look at the screen. It's on continuity mode. Go to voltage. I don't know why it says 0.01. That's all right. Let's see the voltage between this power pin and here. Nothing. That could prove to be a problem. Oh, hit it in the wrong spot. 5.3 there. 5.3 on the other side of that. 5.3 on that. And getting nothing up the other side. It's getting 12 volts there. That's on the 5-volt rail. Didn't like that LED again. spinning. Okay, that makes sense. Nothing seems to be out of place. Let's double check a couple things. Alright, I got the camera where you guys can see the screen. We'll power him on again. I once again readjusted the jumper settings. And I guess this would help if I plugged in the monitor. There we go. Wait for the screen to go through its wake up ritual. Still not found. Pull off that one where it says slave present. We'll try it again. There it goes. This board likes to test the memory 3 times, or at least show the display 3 times. That time the light down here stayed solid and started blinking and still didn't find the drive. Just for reference, I have a working ST157A drive. I want to show you how that acts. It does have a different PCB though. Alright, here is my working ST157A. This is the 6-pin PCB version though. And things look a little bit different on the bottom here, but it's very, very similar. For one, this has a plug-in for an LED instead of an LED on the already mounted on the PCB. This, as of yet, non-working drive has a 10-pin jumper block here, and there's the LED. Otherwise, very similar to the other. Set him aside for the moment, and then we will show what this drive how this drive acts and sounds when powered on, being a working unit. Sounds pretty much the same. A little quieter maybe. But it made a drive test sound, and as you can see, it says Seagate Technology ST157A right there. This other drive has a problem that is apparently beyond me at the moment. I will have to think about that. It might very well be a jumper setting. It could be something else. I never had hopes of this drive really working, but I thought I'd give it a shot. I will keep it aside and keep it in the back of my mind. When an idea hits me, we will try to get him working again. I thank you for joining me on this little adventure, and hope you have a wonderful day.